Hey everybody, and welcome back. If you're just getting here, this is Tattoo Collectables, and I'm your host, Eric. If you're not just getting here, awesome. So, we've got some stuff in the mail for you today. Today, we are concentrating on our vault of knowledge here at the shop. We like to collect books around here. New ones, old ones, doesn't matter to us, as long as the tattoo is the subject. So today we're going to open up a few books that we found here and there and show you exactly what I mean. So, without going into too much more, if you are enjoying these videos, please hit our like and subscribe buttons. We work real hard on these videos and we're hoping that you're watching them. So anyway, I'm going to turn it over now that I've begged you for likes and subscribes. I'm going to turn it over to What's in the Mail, Eric, and we're going to see what's in the mail. He doesn't know what he's talking about half the time, but today he did. We do have some books that came in, and this first one kind of took me back because I've never read it, but and I've never read it because it's pretty pricey. And then somebody sent me a thing that said, "Oh, they redid them. They reissued them after, I don't know, 70, 80 years or whatever, and issued them in paperback." And I'm like, no, oh man, no fooling, look at that. So, I'm sure if you're a tattooer out there, you're familiar with Memoirs of a Tattooer, a Tattooist by George Burchett. Now, a lot of people say that George did not write this book, that this book was written by somebody else who just compiled a bunch of letters that George Burchett had written. Either way, it is such an iconic book, and there's pictures in it, and I'll show you flipping through it here in a second. It's got pictures, it's got stories of old, from back in the day, tattoo stories. Now, if you get an original pressing of this, you could be looking anywhere from $600 to $800, which is absolutely, like, if you do find a first pressing and it's super pricey, it's because it's worth it. It's one of the first ones that ever came out. Now, if you just want a copy to read, like we did, like I just wanted a copy for me and my guys to read, Amazon has them for $19. So blow up Amazon, get you some Memoirs of a Tattooist, and don't be fooled when you go there. It is a paperback. Now, the original was a hardback. So if you see this, if you see a paperback being sold as an original, you'll know that it's not. There are some people out there, some unscrupulous people who will try to sell this, I'm sure, as an original, and it's not. But if you just wanted to read, $20, you cannot go wrong. Amazon. And I'm not sure who told me that, about it being on Amazon, but I got on there. There was, sure enough. This one comes from our buddy down in Theodore, Alabama. This is from Ed, 345 Ed on on the place I'm always at, eBay. Now, this is another book. I'm not sure which book or what this is, but we're going to check it out here. Oh, yeah, I remember this one. So this one is a book. It's The Art and Craft of Tattoo Skin Show by Christopher Wroblewski. Now, I didn't expect this one to be a hardback when it showed up. It looked like a paperback. It's from the 80s, and it had some really cool, tattoo images on the front of it. Now, I'd never seen this book before. Let's see who put it out. Oh, it's because it came out in the Netherlands. That's why I haven't seen this book. And then and it came out February 1981. Now inside, it's a bunch of really cool, well, first it's a bunch of stories and stuff, words and so forth. Yeah, pesky words. Ooh, but then they put in, that's cool, So they put in a bunch of pictures of the front of tattoo shops. Now, it's important to always photograph the front of your shop. Photograph it and put it online today. It'll do a couple of things for you. Like it'll make the history easier later on when they go to look stuff up. You know, they'll be like, oh yeah, that was the old man shop. Plus, if it ever closes, you'll have pictures of it. I recently released a very short video on this channel from when I was out in San Francisco. And it was the front of Tuttle's shop. And then inside I did almost a 360. The guy that was in there, Del Camino, he didn't want me filming one of the walls because it had a bunch of rare flash on it. I totally understand that because, you know, there's some dudes out there that would just try to reproduce it from video. But we got everything else in there, and you see like Tuttle's booth, which was a pretty small booth, but the whole shop was pretty small. In San Francisco, it's pretty pricey. We called because on the picture there's a number. I called and found out it's $4,500 a month in rent. Now, can you make that as a one-seater shop? I'm sure you can. You know, especially with that kind of history tied to it. Nobody has so far, and it makes me really sad to see that shop is gone. I've got a Lyle Tuttle signature here, and every time I would go to his shop, I would have another star put around it. And I've been there twice. I've got 2 stars, and those are the only ones I'll ever be able to get because it is gone now. So it fills me with melancholy and makes me super sad that it's gone. But this book is neat because it does, way off subject there for a second, it's neat because it shows the fronts of shops. Now, I've not seen many books that show the fronts of shops, and then it's got a bunch of like just super cool images by different people. The bad thing is they didn't put anybody's name on any of the pictures, so I'm hoping that when I get to the index in the back, it'll say this on page this and this on, nope, there's no index. So still a great book. I think I paid $10 for this book. I got a stamp that says the Angels and Demons Vault of Knowledge. I stamp every one of my books in case they're ever stolen. I can flip through it and be like, yeah, that was mine. All right, so last but certainly not least today, I had to fight for this one. This one came from eBay. Who did it come from? It came from Baltimore, Maryland. I did have to go toe-to-toe with a couple collectors on this one. I don't regret it, and let me show you why. So, this... This is a 1974 Spalding Rogers catalog. How freaking cool is this? The front cover, as well as the back cover, is by Don Nolan. And then the reason that I get these, and I get them for one reason and one reason, there's our buddy Tommy Spalding. I'm not going to show this picture, Tommy. Tommy sent it to me years ago, and he asked me never to publish it, so I'm not gonna, even though it's in this book, and it's awesome. If you get the 1974 catalog, there's a picture of Tommy Spalding, and I want to say that that's Mary next to him. Correct me if I am wrong out there, guys. And then it shows a bunch of like the kits and the machines. This is the main reason that I get these. Like, it does have a bunch of flash in the back, but I get them more for this right here, the machine page. So if you want to know something's from 74 and not from 78, if you have both of those catalogs, you can compare, and then you can tell when the machine was from. Some machines weren't built prior to a certain date. So, and that'll be a dead giveaway if somebody's trying to, because people try to fool you all the time in this business. It disheartens me a little bit. But in this one, like, you can see the needle bars and the setups and all that. Here's a Stericlave. But I love these old catalogs, man. They've got a bunch of, okay, here's another cool thing. Now, I've got one of these. This is one of the old belt buckles they used to sell. Guys, if you're out there listening, Bill, Jay, you guys are out there listening, please do belt buckles again. We all want one. We all want several. So, this one I did pay a little bit for. And I didn't pay as much as I should have. I've seen these sell upwards for $200 and $300, especially after the loss of Don Nolan. The reason that I didn't pay that for this one is there are pages where the flash has been removed. Somebody removed one piece of flash from that page. And there are several pages like that where there's just one little piece missing. But then you get these. You get these Don Nolan beautiful back pieces. It blows my mind at the amount of flash that these guys have put out over the years. And then I get back and I see there's a page back here where they were selling business cards of other people. So they would pick up business cards wherever they went, usually at conventions or whatever, I'm assuming. And they'd pick them up and then they'd sell them, which is awesome. Or people would send them in, one of the two. It's a great way to advertise, you know. Now, in the very back, there is SR number 1 and SR number 2. Now, this is the first catalog that I've had that I've seen those in. They don't sell them anymore. SR 1 and 2 are the sheet number 1 and 2. It's the first two that Spalding Rogers put out. When I was out there for my East Coast tour last year, Bill gave me a copy of each of them. Him and Jay are the coolest guys going. They're still out there running their grandfather's business and doing a hell of a job at it. If you're ever in Voorheesville, New York, stop by and see the guys. They've got a fully going tattoo shop there. I can't talk enough good about Spalding and Rogers. When I finally went out on my own, they were the first ones that were really willing to hook you up with whatever you need. So, special place in my heart for you guys. Let me step off this soapbox. It's a little tall. If I fall off, I might hurt myself. So that's what we had in the mail today. Hopefully you dug it. Anytime you see old catalogs, grab them. They're a great resource to checking the machines, and pick you up a copy of that Memoirs of a Tattooist. I can't wait to read this one. So that's what we had for you this week. Y'all take it easy. I'll see you next time. All right, man, you put a nickel in Chatty Cathy down there. She just won't shut up. So here is an all-new Machine Heads. Hopefully y'all dig this. Check this out. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Machine Heads. This week we are doing one of my favorite builders, Soba. BJ Johnson. This is a Soba Prefab. They are pretty neat. They're a little bit rare. You don't see these a whole bunch. I've got one. It's framed and hanging here in the booth. I used it forever. And now we're going to see. This one's got an RCA jack on the side, so I'm not even sure if it's going to work with a clip cord. Yeah, it sure does. I will definitely end up taking that clip cord, that RCA clip cord off. I'm going to take this one up and we're going to have Soba rework it. But man, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't really have to. That thing, well, it works just like a Soba. That's what it feels. It feels like it could outline just like that one did all day long, twice on Sunday. Let's see, that's down pretty low. Let's see if we... Put a little oomph behind this one. I mean, even with a little oomph behind it. Oh, that one beat you to death. Holy moly. Yeah, that one's got, got a heck of a throw on. Now, I believe this one has been completely messed with, okay? And it's not just the fact that somebody put an RCA jack on it, but somebody did. Some guys like those. I just never have cared for them. So I'll end up taking that off. The rest of it looks okay. All the hardware seems to be right, except for I think they replaced the rear binding. They may have, yeah. They definitely replaced the rear binding post, because this should be a little plastic white skull. I've got one on the other one. But now when I got this one, because I've already got one. When I got this one, I called Soba and said, "Hey man, how much would you charge me to redo this and make it a brand new badass?" And he was excited about it, man. He said he'd never redone one of these before. Man, that's got just a punch you in the face kind of throw. But he said he'd never redone one before, and that he'd love to. And then he gave me a smoking good price on redoing this. So because he's just up in Michigan, I think for next season, now it won't be on this season, unfortunately, but on next season, I think I'm gonna take this little badass up to see the man himself and have him rebuild it for me. And it's odd. It's an odd little machine. It almost resembles a Jonesy machine, but it was definitely a prefab. It was all. It looks like it was all milled. But I can get, once I take this up to him and have him start messing with it, I'm gonna get the whole story on these. Because like I said, I've got two of them, and I used one. I got the other one I bought off the street. A kid came in, needed money. I bought it from him, and then right before I bought it from him, I was like, let me make a call real quick. And he's like, yeah, man, whatever you got to do. I go back and I call Workhorse Irons. There's always somebody there. And I sent them a picture. I was like, hey, let me send you a picture of this machine. I'd like to know if it's really a Soba or if somebody just put Soba's name on the damn thing. Because sometimes you will see where they'll just put the name on it, and they'll attempt to sell. I've seen fake Aaron Canes out there like that, so be real leery of any cheaper Aaron Cane you see online, especially on eBay. But on this one, I was buying it off the street, so I had no clue. I didn't know this kid real well. And I called, and they were like, oh yeah, that's one of his first machines. That's a prefab. So I've been looking for one ever since after I found that one. Because once I got that one, I probably used it for 6 years. And outlined, every outline I did, I used that machine. Loved it. I retired it when I bought a brand new outliner. I got a new outliner from Aaron Cane, and they essentially did the same thing. And the Aaron Cane was a production model. So production models, you kind of just put them to work. You know, they're not as collectible as the other ones. This one I believe is more collectible because it was one of his first ones. Didn't make a whole shit ton of them. I'll find out how many he made of them when I go up and have him rebuild this one. Collectability, I'm gonna give this one a 10 out of 10. It's one of Soba's first machines, and I feel lucky to have it. I feel lucky to have two of them. Like, I'm double lucky. And then we're gonna go up and have him rebuild this one, so I'm gonna put this one right back into rotation with his other. I've got a long stroke black and gray shader I use from him, and I'm sure we've done it on machine heads. I'm sure you've seen it. It kicks much ass. So we're gonna do the same to this one, and then I'm just gonna continue using it and loving it, man. So that's what we had for machine heads this week. I hope you dug it, and we'll see you next time. Okay, that is what we had for you this week. I'm hoping that you're enjoying these, and if you are, great. If not, stop watching immediately. So until Till we see each other again, I want you to do a few things for me. I want you to stay safe. Dangerous place out there these days. I want you to be nice to each other. Come together as a community. And I want you to keep on connected. We'll see y'all next time. Thanks for watching, and please hit the subscribe button down below and check out these videos. We worked real hard on these too, and I think if you enjoyed this one, you'll enjoy those too.